Phails.
Can you give a synopsis of the two-way prayer?
Yeah, it's a process, a practice is better, of morning meditation and prayer, wherein you bring a question, a problem, a need, all right, something that's troubling you, and you write it very succinctly, one or two sentences, directed toward this voice that we will get into.
The inner voice.
The inner voice, capital I, capital V, all right?
Spirit.
Here's my problem. And then you listen. And you listen and you write. You write then the thoughts that come. You might do that for 5-7 minutes. It's not I'm going to sit there for an hour and a half, all right? But I am going to listen. I'm going to write these thoughts down. Try not to edit them, as we said earlier. Just let it come, let it come, let it come. And then I'm going to, you will know it's time to stop. It kind of dries up. It said what it had to say, all right? This was the technique. Then they would go back, of course, and look at it. And they had standards by which they would measure it. If it didn't meet up to the standards, it could not be from the inner voice. Was it honest? Was it pure? Was it unselfish? And was it loving? If it did not measure up to each of those 4 standards, throw it out. It cannot be from the inner voice. It's from the ego. So they gave you a means to look at what it was. Now, I'm not an expert, but I've done a little studying on dream interpretation, okay, and doing that process. What those authors tell me is when I'm looking at a dream and I'm trying to analyze it, let's say this little part of the dream could be one of 3 or 4 or 5 things, and they recommend writing that down. Could be this, could be that, could be the other thing. But I look at them, and one of them is going to shine.
Yeah.
It's going to have a light around it. No, this is what it is. This is what it is. And when I first started doing this, and I started doing this about 31 years ago, wow. Right? Yeah. Right? 20 years sober at the time when I stumbled onto it. And nobody ever taught me about this. So I started doing it. And I had that experience. Where did this thought come from? It's not a thought that would be usual to my mind. It just kind of stands out.
Yeah.
So that's what they would do. And so what you're doing, I think, in that process is creating a linkage between the ego mind, which has its place and function, and the unconscious, the spirit, the soul, the God within. You call it what you like.
Yeah.
But it has business with me.
Yeah.
And I with it. Well, this is how you find out what that business is.
Access it. This is a practice to access your
right.
inner wisdom, this
right.
voice,
That's
spirit,
right. That's right.
God, whatever we want to call it, universal consciousness.
That's right.
There's a ton of names for this.
That's right.
Whatever you call it, let's get in touch with it.
That's right.
And that's
because it wants to get in touch with you.
Yeah. To guide.
To guide.
That's right.
in the way it guides is in a loving way. It's an honest way. There's an authenticity to it.
That's right.
And you can sniff out if it's the ego, because the ego can't hide.
That's right.
It's about self-preservation or selfishness. It's about me.
That's right.
And this voice is about something different, and it stands out. It shines.
You know it.
I love
you
that.
feel it.